Welcome back, everyone. Here to show us how to take our travel style to the next level with customized DIY luggage tags is Orly. And Orly, I know you know that I love this. We're a big travel family. And I mean, these are really, really cute.
I usually want to be happy for you when I see your pictures on your travels, but really I'm just mad at you because no one makes vacation look more like fabulous and effortless than you.
Well, now they're going to look more fabulous.
Yeah, so I really thought of you when I saw this. I was actually on this really cool blog, Best Friends for Frosting, and she did a version of these that I thought was really cool. And the minute I saw them, I thought of your family, and I was like, that's just one more photo op with like the suitcase next to you and your cool luggage tag.
Right, and, and like the action shot, like looking over your shoulder with the luggage,
like trying to catch our flight. You know, like one of those, yeah.
No, but it's that kind of stuff. We love it. Let's get started. So the first thing we have to do is to kind of get our painted design down.
Yeah,
okay?
Exactly. So the great thing is we're just using the little craft wooden plaques that you can buy at the craft store, and they come in all of these sizes already. So that's, first of all, a good amount of the work is done for you. In order to create the line, we're just using some painter's tape. So I'm going to take a small piece of painter's tape, and this is how you are deciding on your design. If the painter's tape goes like this, we've got a tiny, like little 1/3 half egg. I could angle it like this. I could do it half on top, you know, straight across, half, whatever you want. So I'm going to do a little angle, and now wrap it around, and we're only going to paint the front.
Got it.
So I'm going to kind of intensify that little line there.
Okay, very good. And how do you prevent the paint from sort of bleeding under the tape in that way?
Yeah. That's a good question because I feel like you want painter's tape to be enough, but sometimes it's not, and you get that little bleeding that happens.
Yeah.
A really good tip is to use a coat of something on top of it. So in this case, Mod Podge, which is going to dry completely clear, you would paint your Mod Podge just like this. Take a very light coat of Mod Podge and only paint going down on the bottom half. Don't paint up here where we're going to actually write. That's going to create a nice clean seal. When it's dry, then you get in there with your paint.
So I'm going to pretend like I already did that.
And you need very little paint.
So
a lot
like
goes
way
a long
less
way.
than that.
Way less than that, yeah. A lot goes a long way, and it's surprising. You really need very little. You can see I just barely tapped it in. And when you're painting, always make sure to go away from your paint. If you go this way,
away from your tape.
Thank you, I'm sorry. Away from your tape. Otherwise, you're basically pushing the paint into the tape, and that's not what you want.
Easy enough.
Easy enough. So once you have your nice, clean, crisp design, let them dry.
Now you've got to come up with what you're going to write and the design of all of that, because that's a big element to it as well.
Exactly, and this is where the fun comes in, and this is where really your personal sort of style gets to come in. You can see here, I've got one that says, vacation is always a good idea, and I did it in kind of like a light, handwritten, nice, big, bold, fly away with me. We did a little plane that's like, woo, cute little graphics. So honestly, the design part is going to be totally up to you. Now, I'm going to peel back my tape, but before I do that, I want to show you, do you see how I've got the little hole in there through the tape?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is drill the hole so that we can actually tie it on. There's two ways to make sure that your craft wood doesn't like splinter on you because it's so thin. One is to actually drill through the tape when the tape is still on it. The other is just to put it on top of a little piece of wood like this, put the craft wood on top of the wood and drill right into it. That's going to help prevent it from splintering.
It's a super delicate wood and it could easily splinter or just kind of break apart.
Exactly.
So those are great tips right
so
there.
now we're going to peel, and yours is still wet, but you can probably peel. You're probably fine. Look at that nice, crisp, perfect line that I've got.
You know, Orly, when you craft and DIY as much as I do, you don't need to take your time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
look at you. Fine.
It was very technical.
It was very technical. I really like your style. Yeah. And you can see how fast they dry. I mean, we just did those, and they're really ready to go.
And they look fantastic. I love the colors that you chose as well. So when it comes to this, I mean, I see that you're writing, you've got different designs, and I'm sure that it has to be sort of thought out in advance to give yourself enough room on these. But with that said, also, how do you get the lines just to stay so even? Because when you're doing something like this, you end up kind of going on an angle, and you're like, oh, I messed that up.
I definitely did that 3 or 4 or 7 times.
Well, I'm glad I asked.
No big deal, no big deal. So what I would do is just take a little ruler or anything, a piece of paper, anything that's straight, and just give yourself little rough chalk lines that really only you can see. Oops, if I actually do it, that would be helpful. It's gonna brush right off so you don't have to worry about it. You could also do it with a little bit of like a pencil.
Okay.
Now you've got your visual and you can start writing. We're gonna use paint pens, but this is a super important thing, you guys. When you buy these craft woods, it's gonna come in a pack of a ton, so you're gonna have a lot more than you need. Take your paint pen and test it on one of them first. Some paint pens, for whatever reason, bled, and some didn't, even though they were the same exact type of paint pen.
Right.
So test it out so that
That's
you
a
know.
good tip. That's a very good tip.
And now you can write it with a pencil first if you want, or you can go ahead and just freehand it. Totally up to you. So I'm gonna write fly with.
Oh my gosh.
What? Were we writing the same
I
one?
was gonna write the same
Okay, I'm gonna write something different. I'll just freehand it. And then this is the part where basically the size of the paint pen is going to make a difference in how thick, how much control you have. You can also use something like this, which you can tell here is the wood burner, which I actually learned how to use from Paige. You did a segment with Paige recently where she used the wood burner. And so that creates a whole different element. Fly with me. I love it.
Well,
now I'm stumped because now I was gonna write that too.
No, it's okay. Listen, I took the good one.
I like it. So anyway, once you write them on, we are then going to put our leather binding through it, right? So take a piece of your leather, you're just going to push that through.
Okay.
And this is where you would add your tassel if you want to do that. So I added a couple tassels.
It's really
you can
fun.
just drop the tassel on, you can drop 3 or 4 of them on, tie a little knot, and then it's ready to go. And
it's as simple as that.
It is, and there's something that you said that I do want to mention.
Yes.
You were saying, you know, these could get tangled, right? The way that they are. We have them tied really nice and loose so that everyone can see them, but normally I would recommend tying them tight onto your handle.
That's a good
So that they're
point.
not like dangling too much and getting caught in things.
And the other thing that we were talking about earlier that I think is a good idea is that initially you had the idea of having, you know, whatever personal information, if this luggage is lost, you can have it on the back.
That should be on the back, exactly. So the front is the fun design, that's the photo op of you and your family running.
Yeah, that's right.
And then the back is the actual info should it get lost. And then just a clear coat of Mod Podge on top of it to seal it, and you're good to go.
I have a project for you. You got to make mine look a little bit better. I'll leave that with you. You work on that, and I'll tell everybody full instructions for this project are, of course, available at hallmarkchannel.com.